Okay. All right, we're recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Night Goes 49. A little bit of channel news update, update with me and all that good stuff. I haven't done one of these in quite some time. I find them to be challenging to do for some reason, even though talking is not necessarily difficult for me. But I find this to be hard to kind of do these updates. So let's just dive in real quick. First off, if you're new to the channel, I do these occasionally. I like to keep you guys in the know of what games I'm doing, what's going on with me personally, and kind of the focus and change of the channel. So with that being said, I'll talk about the game focus a little bit, but not as in depth as I normally do. There's a lot of things that I kind of want to discuss, and we'll really just get out to you guys. So first off, game focus. I'm sure you guys have seen my content's been a little sporadic and chaotic. I've even uploaded extra videos that are the same thing. I apologize for that kind of silliness, and that's just not great. Let me move the mic. Oh yeah, there you go. And I think we're good. Anyway, sorry about that. Life's been kind of crazy. But the games I want to focus on, I'd like to bring Fallout 4 back to the channel a little bit more. We're gonna have some cat attacks. I got a cat down here. He won't go away. Little Leroy. I'd like to bring Fallout 4 back to a channel a little bit more, and in that storyteller fashion, similar to what I did in Skyrim. I don't feel like I'm giving it enough justice. That's why I stopped, and also some parts of the story actually kind of really upset me, and I found it to not be fun. But I've kind of gotten over that hump a little bit, I think. Also, Stellaris. I've been having a blast doing Milos Plays Stellaris. I might do some other plays, like maybe Normand, and doing the voice there. And fleshing out his character for a different playthrough. There are some updates to the game I think would be a blast to do. Some people are really enjoying that. It doesn't get as many views as other things, but I find it to be incredibly fun to play. It's such a solid game, and I like some strategy to be on my channel as well. Also, I want to continue 7 Days to Die. That has not been as consistent as I'd like. There's more we can do, and I find it to be fun, dang it. I will address the fact that I know there's a couple audio issues. Those are hardware problems that I'm actually working with a friend of mine who is an audio expert to help me with that. I've got some issues with my electrical line, and then some issues with contamination I think I have between systems because I'm running on multiple computers. So I'm fixing that. In the meantime, we're still going to have a little tiny bit in the background. I do apologize. You guys are wonderful for watching and kind of going through that. It's pretty minimal if I keep things up and going, but if it gets too quiet, you can kind of notice it. Sorry if I spoiled that for you, right? Also, Stardew Valley. I find that to be fun and kind of just... It's growing on me more. And not in a, well, I should do it because it's Stardew Valley, in the way that I like finally building up and getting things going, like the chicken coop and other stuff that I can automate, and I like organization and things like that. I'm definitely going to continue Banished. Banished is probably one of the most fun games I play, and one that I know a lot about, and I feel very comfortable with. And then new games, don't know. I have no idea. I don't even want to think about them right now. Also, I'd like to work with a few other YouTubers. There's some things going on in the background that may or may not happen. I won't even say anything past that, just that I'd like to start working with them. It might work, it might not. I don't really care. There's some wonderful people out there that I would really like to work with, and I find them to be very entertaining and challenging. Challenging in a good way, you know, like they challenge the way I see games that we play together. They look at them in different lights. I find that to be very beneficial and fun. So there's that. That's kind of the end of the actual game focus, what the channel is going to be. Hopefully you guys like the background. I didn't mention this yet, but those are made by 9dash. I decided to just throw those up there because not everybody gets to see those from the stream. I like the little Doge right there, and then the raid alert. Pardon the mess. Technical difficulties. My streaming and recording rig is right there, so I'm kind of watching it that way. So I had a nice little chat with Wife Ghost. We started talking about things. In case anybody doesn't know, you know, I work full time. I work 40 plus hours a week, and I've got 2 little wonderful children and a beautiful wife who is just my rock. And we bounce things off of each other. We help each other out. That's part of being in a good relationship. And I had a nice little chat with her, and I was like, you know, I'm just not feeling some things right now. And we talked about it, and she helped me get to a good place. But one thing I realized is I always want to be honest, and I always want to be upfront with you guys. It's the internet. People can do whatever personas or what. It doesn't matter. So let's talk about me for a minute, and hopefully not narcissistic kind of way. But the channel is curated and made by me. So we got to talk about that because I'm a big part of that. The community itself is growing. I love it. I think it's wonderful. The majority of people there are very kind, constructive, and fun to be around. But let's talk about balance for just a minute. I don't feel balanced right now. I don't feel balanced in a lot of ways. I am streaming a good amount. I'm not loving it as much as I used to. And that's for a multitude of reasons that I don't know if I really want to talk about right now. It's not for any one person or any group of people. It's just not quite where I want to be. And I feel like I'm stretching a little too far in multiple directions, if that makes sense. I don't want to stop streaming. I think I'm going to do Monday, Saturday. And I don't want to do Wednesday, Thursday anymore. I've got work during the week. I find it to be kind of draining. And normally during the week I do a lot of content. And I feel like I'm behind in myself. And then I feel kind of like I'm letting you guys down. And if I'm not having fun and giving it 110% or whatever arbitrary extra number past 100, I don't feel like that's very honest. It's not advantageous for us, right? So I feel like I'm going to cut that down. And I know that's going to disappoint some people, and I do apologize. I know that some people love the stream, and it's not just because of me. It's because of the community. We get together on the stream, and everybody just says hi to everybody. It's like everybody knows your name, and you know, we have rough times where somebody's having a bad day, and it's wonderful to get in there and like dig into it and say, you know, it's okay. We're a support group. I'll just put it that. I don't need to dig into that too much. Anyway, so there's that part of my balance. Speaking of balance, I need to talk about my health a little bit. I want to be really upfront with you guys about a few things that explain why my content has been rather inconsistent. Some of you will see on Twitter, I keep talking about being sick here and there. There's a handful of things going on. One, I feel overweight. I work and sit all day, and I'm trying to rectify that. And now I walk to my bus stop, and I walk home from my bus stop, and I stand up at work anymore. I got one of those adjustable desks. And whatever, that's fine. That's something that I want to work on as well. I don't feel like where I'm at right now is a good example to my children, and I don't think it's a good example to others. I could be more fit. But with that, I have a lot of really weird health things going on, and I feel like I should explain because it affects the channel. Without getting into a ridiculous amount of detail, growing up, I had heart problems. I was born with 2 heart murmurs, holes in my heart, and they didn't heal for years. They didn't heal until I was about 13, and even then it was painful the whole way. After that, I had some weird genetic thing where I just grew too quickly, and I actually gained, well, I call it tendonitis, but you have cartilage. And I got tendonitis in my chest cavity, in my rib cage, in my back, and it makes physical activity very painful because I'll tear a tendon or I'll tear a muscle, and it burns. Oh my gosh, and it does for days. So it's been very, Cat, what are you doing? Sorry, it's been very. It gets demoralizing to work out, and then you move a certain way and you pull a muscle, and it's just very painful. And that's part of the reason why I've actually gotten out of shape is I keep injuring myself. For a while there, I was doing stuff like P90X, and I was losing quite a bit of weight, and I was feeling fantastic. And then I'd rip something and just be in pain for a while. And that sucks. And it's kind of depressing. It like weighs on you like you should be doing this. I do not know why my cat is losing its mind, so I apologize for that. So there's that, but then there's also another thing. When I was in my early 20s, I found out I had a disease. Oh my gosh, maybe I'll cut that out, jeez. I found I have a disease, it's called Meniere's disease, or Meniere's disease, or however you want to pronounce it. It's a weird thing. They don't know how you get it. A part of me wants to do a whole video on the whole thing because it's kind of neat and also horrible all at the same time. It's a problem with your inner ear. It causes massive imbalance from time to time. You get flare-ups where you can barely walk. It causes ringing in your ears, hearing loss, nausea. Oh gosh, it causes nausea. But some serious side effects are depression. So a typical day for me is I finally fall asleep. I get insomnia. I finally fall asleep. I get about 6 hours, which is perfect for me. 6 to 7 hours is perfect. Anything over 7, I actually have a very bad day. Anything under 6, not so great. I can do 4 to 6 and survive and function. And some of you might say that's your problem, Night Ghost. Well, guess what? It's not just that. It's not just that. I'll wake up and just be dizzy and hard of hearing, and it makes me very disoriented, and so I can't think straight. So I'm stumbling, and I go ahead, get up, brush my teeth, and get some breakfast, and I have to watch my sodium levels, and I have to watch what I eat and drink a lot of water to kind of calm it down. But I'm dizzy, and that doesn't end for at least an hour or two, if not more on bad days, and then allergies will flare up, and it messes with your sinuses and increases pressure on your ears, which then amplifies the whole Meniere's disease thing. And I'll be at work and just trying to keep it together and thinking through problems, because that's part of my job. That's part of what I do is I work with teams and I think through problems, and we get things done together. And then I'll get nauseous, and I found out when you have little dizzy spells, you actually get really fatigued afterwards. And then, I come home and then I want to stream, but I want to see my kids for the 10 minutes I see them before they go to bed, and then spend some time with Wife Ghost, and, then I want to stream, or I want to record and get some things done. But it's been very difficult lately. It's been incredibly difficult over the last few months. It's actually doing it right now. My condition has worsened considerably. It's making it very challenging to do content, but I don't want to stop. I want to control it. I want to get through it. Normally, I would just drink copious amounts of water and get a little extra sleep, take some ibuprofen for anti-inflammatory kind of stuff, and that kills it, right? But it's not the case anymore, and I don't understand why. So I'm seeing a doctor, I'm seeing a specialist, I'm trying to work through these issues because it's a disease the medical community does not really understand very well. A lot of the solutions literally have to do with transplants. Oh, sorry about that. Have to do with transplants, which is not really an option, and there's a very high possibility that I'm eventually going to lose my hearing. Which, for some reason, is really hard to think about. So I'm not going to talk about that very much anymore. Which makes all of this very difficult. It makes it difficult for me to do content. It makes it difficult for me to stream live and hear different sounds. And then, my kids have been sick lately, so I'm listening to a monitor. And I'm just not balanced, right? Does that make sense? And with that, one of the big culprits is depression. I don't talk about this much, but I get really depressed when those things flare up. When I worry about my weight, and I worry about my health, and then my ears flare up and I get dizzy, but I want to do content, and then, everything's really sensitive, and then on the weekends I want to spend time with the kiddos before I stream and stuff, and then, they're too loud because my ears are being crazy, and I have to be like, shush, and in some ways it's just super demoralizing, and it makes it very difficult to be me, and I don't feel like myself sometimes. So I've been getting very depressed, and it's not something I really have dealt with much in my life. As you guys know, I'm very cheerful most of the time. At least I try to be, because life is great. Life is worth living. Life is worth sharing with other people, and being grumpy about sometimes, because it's just the way it is. But that's something that's been going on for quite a long time for me, and gotten a lot worse in the last couple of months. So that kind of hopefully explains why some things are going on. So if you're seeing some adverse effects from that, whether it be from channel quality, sporadic uploads, that's why I'm battling it every day. It's very tough. But hopefully you guys can be patient with me. I'd love to do some charity work for some organizations that are helping with this. I'd love to support that more and raise some awareness around this disease, because it doesn't affect very many people, but the people it does, it's very impactful. Very impactful. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go a different area. I got a lot to talk about right now. I've done this in a while, and I want to get a few things out there in the open. The original reason I started the channel was I was trying to finish school. I needed a creative outlet. I needed something fun to do. I had some games and some stories I wanted to tell, and that's how things started. And I wanted to share my love for gaming with my audience that isn't just crazy screaming all the time and whatever, right? Like, and if you like that, that's perfectly fine. I don't have any problem with that. It's just not my cup of tea, right? So my original reason was I want to create a space that's happy, that's fun, that allows me to be creative, allows me to do my voices and tell stories. And that was really it. And I feel like lately with what I'm battling, it's not been that much of that space. So I'm trying to refocus. That's why I want to ease off of the streaming a lot more. I want to just create more content with YouTube and try to maybe make it a little better content, which is why I'm working with some buddies to clear up some audio issues, and maybe look at doing some music and some other stuff built into it to make it better. So that was my original reason, and I want to try to refocus that. People grow and evolve, and so do channels. Hopefully that isn't anything that people think is bad or negative. It's not my intention. I don't want to stray away from something that maybe you have come here to see. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I don't do this full time. I do this part time, right? And I do it on top of a lot of other responsibilities. So it has to be fun for me, right? But at the same time, I can't just do everything all willy-nilly. So I'm trying to organize myself, and I'm trying to be very honest with myself and with you all. And that's kind of why I made this video. With that being said, I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for all the viewers. I want to say thanks for everybody that gives it a thumb up and shares it and talks about the videos, that gives me feedback in the comments. I want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters. I've got a couple of those guys. You guys are awesome. I'm actually not going to name names when I talk about this. I realize I don't want to ostracize anybody. I don't want to call anybody out. I also want to say thank you to people that have donated games recently, and also just donated money to help keep things running, like servers and whatnot. And people have donated to keep servers up and going for some multiplayer stuff that we've been doing. So I just want to say thanks. You don't have to do that. I know you don't have to do that. I know you don't even have to spend the time to watch my videos. There's plenty of other people to watch. And I take that very seriously, because I am busy. And when I watch videos, I am very deliberate about what I watch. And I thank you for that. I know that you're giving time out of your day for that. And I want to be more genuine and honest about what I do, so that when you come to my channel, you're not getting something lackluster. I want you to know that I'm putting my full personality, effort, and time and energy into it, and not just doing it to check a box, right? Like, I don't need to do that. That's stupid. I got other things I can do. I can go work in my dang yard, or I can work on my basement, or something stupid, right? Like, but I want to make videos, and I want to build this community. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thanks for letting me yammer on for, like, gosh, what is it, 15-20 minutes now? Like, geez, I know I need a haircut. I just look like a hooligan. I just wanted to say thanks. This is wonderful. I love doing it. I just have to reprioritize a few things here and there. So I appreciate that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, dislike, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm just glad that you guys feel passionate about something too, and feel the need to comment. So hopefully nobody's too disappointed. And anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you guys next time. Later. Button.